National capital, the Congress party, of course, is protesting the ED's action against their interim president, Sonia Gandhi. Sonia Gandhi, of course, will make her way to the ED's office at about 11 o'clock, so that's about 50 minutes from now, where she will be questioned by the ED in the National Herald case. Now, the Congress, of course, is expected to not just be protesting outside the AICC headquarters, but also in Parliament and outside of Parliament. They are saying that the central government is misusing its powers, and this is a witch hunt that's been launched by the central government in this particular case, also saying that the central government has been misusing federal agencies. In fact, they also want to discuss it in Parliament today, so that's happening inside of Parliament. But right now, protests have begun and Section 144 has been imposed outside the AICC's office in the national capital. Of course, it is causing a great deal of trouble to people who are travelling inside Lutyens Delhi in today, because it's a weekday and there are a large amount of barricades that have been placed there. Now, here's what we know in terms of when Sonia Gandhi will be making an appearance. We are told that Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi are both at her residence today, right now, in fact, and shortly they will all three be heading to the AICC headquarters in the national capital. Now, all of this area, of course, is under Section 144. There is heavy police deployment over there. But let's go across, in fact, to Piyush Ori, who's reporting from the AICC headquarters. Now, Piyush, give us a sense of what's happening around you. We are seeing some protests take place already.
So yes, there was a protest that was being organized by the Congress workers inside the AICC office, where they raised slogans against BJP and they raised slogans for support of Gandhi family. And as I speak to you right now over here, let me just show you the visuals of the Congress headquarters over here at 24 Akbar Road in Delhi, where we are being told as of now the Congress spokesperson Pawan Khera and KC Venugopal, the other Congress leader, has just entered in, and they are expected to speak, lending their support for the Congress party and for the Gandhi family. As I speak to you over here, I can just show you the visuals, where there are a couple of Congress workers, that have collected in support of Congress Gandhi, and they have raised the placards showing that they are going to be there in support of the Congress President Sonia Gandhi. The numbers may not be large, but it is substantial enough to show that there is a substantial number of Congress workers which are here to lend their support for Congress interim President Sonia Gandhi, to make sure that this situation does not go out of control. There's a heavy barricading which has been placed outside the Congress office by the Delhi police, and to make sure that there is no untoward incident that takes place. But the effect of this is being felt by the common citizen of Delhi, which is being held up in the traffic jam. So right now the ground situation from here is that the Congress workers are protesting and showing that they are going to be lending their support. Some of the Congress leaders have entered the office, where they are going to be addressing the press conference shortly, saying that what are the plans they are going to be organized for support to the Gandhi family. And there is a heavy deployment of police officials over here to make sure that the situation does not go awry. Back to you in the studio.
Absolutely, and it's not just outside the AICC headquarters. I think Shavan is also joining us now.
मैं तो ईडीपी बनाई थी, और मैं समझता हूँ हम अपने नेता के समर्थन में आए हैं, और नेता ने तो मना कर दिया, मत आओ, हम कानून का पालन करेंगे। पर मैं ये भी पूछना चाहता हूँ, क्या सरकार अच्छा कर रही है? मान लिया नीरव मोदी हजारों करोड़ जो लेके चले गए, उन पर ईडी नहीं देखती। ये सवाल देश की जनता समझ रही है। डराने से डरने वाले नहीं है, जितना डराओगे हम उतने मजबूत होंगे और उभर के आएंगे। हमने देश बनाया, देश के लिए शहादत दिया है। एक नेता बीजेपी को बताइए।
इस देश को ईडी को भी तो बनाने वाले आप ही लोग हैं, तो उसी ईडी ने बुलाया है।
जा रहे हैं भाई, स्वागत है। सोनिया गांधी ने
फिर ये हंगामा क्यों?
ये तो पुलिस बेकार खड़ी है। कहाँ हंगामा होता तो लाखों लोग होते।
राहुल जी को बुलाया था तो कितने टायर जलाए?
बुलाया था, माए थे, लेकिन सोनिया जी ने क्या दिया? ये सरकार गूंगी बहरी अनपढ़ है।
अभी आप कहीं आग नहीं लगाएंगे, टायर नहीं जलाएंगे।
ये लोकतंत्र संविधान को नहीं समझती है, ये हिटलर की सरकार।
तो ये ईडी भी उसी संविधान का हिस्सा है।
हाँ, ईडी भी उसी संविधान पर
उसी तरह बुलाया गया।
हम जा रहे हैं, ये जो पुलिस खड़ी है, हमारे ही भाई हैं, ये हमारे टाइम के लगाए हुए हैं। हम कानून और समाज को, शहर को समझ।
आपके टाइम के लगाए गए से क्या मतलब है?
हमारे ही कांग्रेस इतिहास रहा है। बीजेपी कहती है बहुत टाइम से कांग्रेस है, तो ये हमारे भाई हैं। हमने रोजगार दिया, नौकरी दी, नौकरी खोजी नहीं। आज के हालात
सबको नौकरी आप इन दी है।
कांग्रेस पार्टी ने दी है भाई, पूछ लो इनसे जाके, सब कांग्रेस के भर्ती करे हुए हैं और आज नहीं मिल रही है नौकरी, ढूंढी बहुत नौकरी मिल रही है। अब तो फौजियों के साथ भी मजाक कर रहे हैं। 4 साल में पता क्या होगा अगर देश में युद्ध छिड़ गया, फौजी अपने घर 4 साल में अगर युद्ध छिड़ गया तो फौजी अपने घर।
All right, so the protests have already begun. As you were pointing out, of course, Section 144 has been put in place in parts of Lutyens, Delhi. That's outside the Congress headquarters, as well as outside Sonia Gandhi's residence. Now, a lot of action that we're going to see today is going to be outside the AICC. Now, Piyush, I think you're speaking to someone there. What were they telling you?
You know, the Congress workers over here, you know, are not willing to, you know, speak to us on the camera, but they are showing support. But, you know, when we ask them a very pertinent question that what is the problem of Sonia Gandhi being interrogated by Enforcement Directorate, you know, they do not want to question us. They do not want to, you know, answer us. In fact, such is the, you know, nervousness of some of the Congress leaders over here that they do not even want us to go inside the Congress office to cover the protest. So, you know, there are some very pertinent questions that needs to be raised, that why, you know, is there so much of, you know, problem which is being faced by Congress party when, you know, the Sonia Gandhi, who's facing the very grave allegations of surreptitiously taking over, you know, the National Herald assets, you know, being questioned by Enforcement Directorate. So, you know, political rhetoric aside, there is going to be a lot of, let us just answer everything. Sir, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे? क्या दिक्कत पड़ेगी अगर सोनिया गांधी जी को इंटरोगेट किया जाएगा? बताइए सर, क्या दिक्कत पड़ेगी अगर सोनिया गांधी जी को इंटरोगेट किया जाएगा? बताइए ना सर, बताइए. So you can see over here that again, you know, the Congress workers, you know, the Congress leaders are not willing to answer us when, you know, we are asking them a very pertinent question that what is going to be the problem when Enforcement Directorate is going to interrogate Sonia Gandhi for the first time for a case which actually needs to be interrogated. Mind you, you know, National Herald case is a property.
All right, I'm going to come back to you, Piyush. I think Sohail is also joining us. Sohail, we've been trying to speak to...
पूछताछ नहीं कर सकती क्या गहलोत साहब? क्या ईडी को पूछताछ का अधिकार नहीं है? गहलोत साहब, क्या ईडी को पूछताछ का अधिकार नहीं है? आइए, अशोक गहलोत को आप देख रहे हैं, राजस्थान के सीएम जो यहाँ पहुंचे हैं, क्योंकि पार्लियामेंट चल रही है। राजस्थान के मुख्यमंत्री यहाँ पहुंचे हैं, सोनिया गांधी, ये जो आप देख रहे हैं, ये जो गाड़ी जा रही है, राजस्थान के मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत पहुंचे, जिनसे मैंने सवाल पूछा क्या ईडी सोनिया गांधी से सवाल नहीं कर सकती है। बड़ा बुनियादी सवाल है। राजस्थान के मुख्यमंत्री खास प्रदर्शन में शामिल होने के लिए यहाँ पहुंचे हैं, उनकी गाड़ी अभी अभी पहुंची है।
हाँ करो सर। गहलोत
साहब, आज सोनिया जी की पेशी है। गहलोत साहब,
बताइए सर, क्या दिक्कत पड़ेगी? So again, as I said, you know, we are trying to be questioning the Rajasthan Chief Minister of what problem is going to be faced by Sonia Gandhi if she is going to be interrogated by Enforcement Directorate, and he did not answer us. As has been the case of Rajasthan Chief Minister, there are large number of Congress workers who are not willing to answer us on the question of what problem is going to be faced by the Gandhi family and the Congress party if they are going to be questioned. Here you can see the visuals of Congress Minister and Rajasthan Chief Minister just coming out and being greeted by workers at the Congress office. Hello.
As Piyush is pointing out, of course, that is Ashok Gehlot, the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, who's making his way at the AICC headquarters in the national capital. The Congress, on its part, of course, does have a huge plan in terms of protesting Sonia Gandhi's questioning by the ED. Now, Piyush is continuing to track all these developments. Piyush, the fact of the matter is that Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi do face some grave allegations that have been laid out against them. Can you take us through what we're expecting at the ED's office today? Because in the last instance that Rahul Gandhi was questioned, the questioning went on for about 5 consecutive days, and he was questioned for a total of 50 hours. So Sonia Gandhi, of course, appears today, and this is her first appearance before the ED.
So as you rightly said that, there are some very grave allegations that are being leveled against the Gandhi family. And today's press conference, which was organized by BJP leader Ravi Shankar Prasad, he said that, the National Herald case, this organization was formed by the investment of lakhs of, freedom fighters, thousands of freedom fighters who had invested, their assets into it. And, this organization being surreptitiously being taken over by, Gandhi family reportedly needs to be investigated. And that is what, Enforcement Directorate is being doing. Now, they are going to be investigating. Rahul Gandhi had already been investigated. He was investigated for, he was probed for 5 days continuously and 5 days continuously and for 50 hours. And now is the chance of Sonia Gandhi to be interrogated. But, taking this into account, and the Congress workers have begun their protest and saying that, this is a political witch hunt. But when we ask them a very, very pertinent question, that what is going to be the problem if, Sonia Gandhi, who they feel is, completely, being framed in this charge, is being questioned by ED, she can come clean. What is going to be the problem? They do not have the answer. They do not want to, face our question. In fact, such is the nervousness of Congress, that they do not even want us to enter into Congress office to cover the protest. So you can understand, the kind of, anxiety which is there in Congress party in facing the questions of Republic Media Network. We are going to be doing our duty. We are going to take their side of the story also. But it is important to note that, this is a very pertinent case. The assets,
Yes.
in which the investments of hundreds of freedom fighters have been invested cannot be taken over so surreptitiously.
11 बजे का वक्त है जब सोनिया गांधी को ईडी ऑफिस पहुंचना है। एक छोटे से ब्रेक के लिए रुक रहे हैं। रिपब्लिक भारत